Hello everybody, today it's going to be a working stream scheduled until 16 o'clock and we're going to start right now. Okay. So first of all, we're just going to look at our current tasks, and I think it was about cleaning up the current functions. Oh no, it says functions to create a new brush. Oh yeah. Okay. I remember. So we're so far that we can go here, inside of here, and we have this window game object title brush, and then we have our functions. We still have to determine at the end. We're going to review everything in the end and determine what is really needed and what is not, because there are some functions in here that I think are redundant. But first of all, let's just get everything to work, every function to work, and then we're going through it. First of all, we're just going to make everything work so that we think it is okay, and then we are going to work with that. And with it, you come into the full circle of CI/CD, where you code, deploy, test it, find the bugs, code, deploy, test it. Now we're not deploying. Of course, there's no work to be done there. You just have the engine immediately there, but that's how the circle works of CI/CD. Yeah, so we have these brushes, and right now they work like this. If you want a new brush, you create a new class, and this class is then found inside of here. So we're going to find out how this system is working and if we can improve upon it. There's a microphone popping a shadow. It's not optimal, so it's weird having the microphone like this. It has its pros and cons. We'll later dig into the sound quality. I think it's better if you have it down here, but yeah, I thought I'd try it out one more time. Because the good thing is, if you have the microphone like this, you can go over your monitors. Now if the camera is sitting there in front of this monitor, so there's a camera right here. I can't see the mouse if I look at the camera, because there's where the camera is. But that's matter. It's not important. It's not going to do any work if I focus on that. So let's get going. And there's one thing that I saw here, just a minor thing, but there's a typo over here where I should seem to have cut off the C. So let's go in and go into the editor functions. I think it's this class. We'll see. And after that, we are going to research how Unity determines what brushes are, and if we can make a scriptable object that is a brush instead of a class, because a class has its benefits. However, a class has its benefits, because you can. The good thing with the class is you can inherit from this base class and edit the function. That's why I make a class. Yeah. So I think making this a scriptable object is going to make things worse. Yeah, I think it has to be a class, because if you don't inherit, you can't change the functions. Yeah. So we're going to have one example brush in here, but the rest is going to be. And you need a function inside of this window that creates a new brush, one way or another. So first, let's try to find typo, a mirror of, how is it called? Reference. Yep, there's a typo. Okay, and we're going to make a new region. Additional. Let's fold in the regions and see if we find I think regions have to go to the left. I think they have to be completely to the left for coding standard reasons. I think it's nicer to have them have the same indentation. What is this end region? I think this end region does not have a start region. Region on scene. And now this is a region. There's something is wrong with this region. Okay, it's just a warning. So there's one fatal error somewhere in this region. Initialization. This has to end here. So I once did read that you shouldn't make regions because if you can make regions, you can make classes instead. I kind of disagree. Just put it like that. I think they're just nice to have. And but in this case here, you could make classes, but I don't know why. Okay, now making a brush. I think that's an own function. Oh, that's core menu. That's core menu. So static void create new brush. This is going to be our new function that we are going to create. Let me take a look at on the right everything. So everything is in caps. Okay, so we're going to write everything in caps. And now we have our new function in here that is supposed to create a new brush, but we don't know what it does. Okay? So we're going to get some tea now. I spilled some tea. Not good because it's an apple tea and it probably has some sugar. yeah. It might be sticky now. It is sticky. Okay. So there's two ways how we can research how Unity creates a new brush. And so we have this annoying bug still in there. To add this as a task. This has to be fixed. So make sure that we write it down as a task, so we can we don't forget about that. Screen frost fix. So this, as I said, there's probably only one way to do this. This is creating a new class every time. I mean, I could try to make this a scriptable object. It just won't work. But no, I think that it just can't work. Let's look at Grid Brush Brace. That's actually, it's a scriptable object. But I can't create one. It's interesting. Something that I haven't seen so far. So it is already inheriting from scriptable object. Now let's look at the parameters and set these to false. I'm not sure what they do. Still don't have the option. Hide asset instances. What does that mean? I could... No, hide default instance. What does that mean? Custom grid brush. Set to true, brush will replace Unity built-in brush as default brush in palette window. Ah, interesting. That didn't happen. So wait, what? Default brush. Okay, that should... name, hide all asset instances of this brush in the tile palette window. Okay, so if this is set to true, it won't be in here. Hide default instance. Hide the default instance of brush in tile palette window. I think we want to set this to true. Now it shouldn't be in here. Yeah, I'm not sure what this does. It's a little bit of a weird one. I mean, the main weird thing is it's a grippable object that you can't create. I haven't seen that so far. That's why I'm randomly seeking where we could possibly create it, but I don't see anything. So we have here a tutorial that also inherits from the same base class grid brush base. And they also set same parameters and the custom grid brush for the class as we do. So that might be interesting. Oh, and they have a menu item. We probably wanted to copy this over here. Interesting. Let's just copy this. That's interesting. So maybe want to see where it makes sense to put this in. So there's a lot of brush functions. So this would make sense to put immediately on at the start, because it doesn't have anything in common with the rest of the class. So we're going to putting it over here would be nice. Nice to do here. All reduce. Let's actually going with cleanup. Also, we are going to rewrite the summer with fields here. But one thing at a time. We already have this code that looks awesome. And I want this to be the first function inside of here. So I will put this over here. And let's just see if this makes it possible to create a brush. No, not like this. Oh, brushes. My first brush. Interesting. Okay. Now we created an instance of this brush. Yeah, that's fairly interesting. Because that solved the problem that we had, that we needed a function to create brushes. Okay, that was easier than I thought. And I have to say, sometimes I bash Unity a lot, but when I look at something like this, Unity can be actually pretty great. Except that I don't find where this file is. So where is this? Is it hidden? Not over here. Where the... Let's create another one. Oh, it's... I've just put it over here. Okay, let's feed it. What will happen now? Okay, it's still in here. Okay. No, it doesn't. Yeah, now it detected that I deleted the asset. No. I have to change this default name. Object. Wash. So now we have an exception here that if we go in here, new game object tile brush, and they cancel, path is empty, so we have to say path dot the string is empty. So let's try out that again. If we now get this error when we cancel. Okay, now we don't get an error because it cancelled. Yep, we didn't create a new brush. That's great. Okay. It's inside of create brushes. That's actually correct. Can we give this 2 menus? So we don't have to put the same function into this. Can probably just put this inside of here. Can it have 2 menus? So we also would like to find it over here. Create new brush. Yeah, so we can we also find it here? Yeah, so we can find it in 2 different areas. That's great. I think we're done. Okay. Let's oh wait. It's really soft, really nice. Oh there. And it's gone. Yeah, I see why it will not put the microphone this again. It's awkward. I don't know what the sound quality is, but the awkward. Too close to my house. On the flip side, I have the feeling like wherever I put the microphone, going to annoy me a little bit. I don't know what to say about this. It's pretty much what we want. I think the default path could be nicer, but aside from that, Sorry. So we go in this example. Brush. And we should find it over here. So this is an example brush. Right? We have this test brush, and they shouldn't look that different. No, they don't. I think the new color over here, that has to be different. New color. Probably silver. And we're going to give the new color a new preset, and that is white. So let's do that again. I don't see the asset, that's weird. Is it in here? No. I thought I saved it over here, but where is it? This is annoying that I don't find the asset over here. Sample. This is very create the sample brush. So what do we do now? It would be nice to have a field with the reference to the actual asset that it is referencing to. I'm not sure if that is possible though. Let's maybe read through this. Okay, read into that more, but we don't have his problem, so maybe just want to research a little bit. What's
In this video, we're going to take a look at how we can use the prefab brush to paint prefabs as tiles in our scene. We're going to look at how to create and use a prefab brush, and we're also going to look at how we can adjust.
So they are doing the same as we do. I don't have any open questions right now, but let's just see if what they do matches the method that we are using, and if there's something that we probably overlooked, or if there's something that is expected for us to deliver.
The tile map grid to also paint prefabs in a 3D scene. Sometimes when using the tile map, we'll want to add more complex objects into our scenes. In this scene, I've built a level using the tile map tools, and if I play the game, we can move around and explore the scene, but there's not much else to do. I'd like to be able to add some collectibles into the scene for our player to pick up. In my project, I have these gem prefabs that I can place into the scene. We could duplicate and move these around as usual, but this is a little bit slow and imprecise. Using the 2D Extras pack, we can actually define this gem prefab as a tile for us to paint onto our tile map.
Wait, I think it's not 2D extras anymore. I think this is outdated. 6 years old. Yeah, I think it's now in the standard tile package, time map package.
To do this, we'll need to create a new prefab brush, which we'll call gems. Then, if we select the asset, we can assign the first gem prefab into the prefabs list. Let's create a tile map with the first gem prefab. Then, if we select the asset,
is that possible? Create prefab brush? No, we don't have that. 2D. No. So that's
asset.
custom.
We can assign the first gem prefabs for us to paint onto our tile map. To do this, we'll need to create a new.
Oh, he's. That looks old.
New prefab.
Let me look again. I think that's a very, very old menu. I think that is this create? It's a little bit weird. Yeah, I think this is the create submenu. I don't know why it's immediately the submenu.
Brush, which we'll call gems. Then, if we select the asset, we can assign the first gem prefab into the prefabs list. Let's create a tile map specifically for our gems, and then if we select the gem brush from the choice of brushes in the tile palette window, we can then simply paint the prefab into our scene just as we would any other tile. There's 2 more gem prefabs I'd like to use. We could create a new brush for each of them if we wanted to paint them individually. However, I'd like to have the brush randomly picked between these gems, so we'll add them to the list of prefabs on our existing brush. Now, if we paint with the brush, we can lay out random gems across our level. Using the prefab brush, it's easy and quick to combine 3D assets or more complex game objects into our 2D game. It's also worth noting, however, that we can use this brush to help us lay out prefabs in a 3D scene too. Here, I've got an empty 3D scene and a tile map grid aligned vertically. I have a custom prefab brush for some trees, which, if I paint here, align and stack vertically with the tile map. If I select the grid and change the swizzle from XYZ to XZY, and then select the tile map and change the orientation from XY to XZ, we can now see that the grid aligns with our ground plane and our brush now enables us to paint in 3D space. As you can see, the prefab brush is an extremely powerful and flexible addition to the tile map toolset that allows us to very quickly place more complex objects into our 2D and 3D environments and helps us build complex levels much more easily. For more information about the tile map,
Let me look up if we still have the orientation. I think I dropped that. Yeah, I think dropped that. Oh, Unity also dropped that. So that doesn't exist anymore. I have no idea how they do it right now, but I know there was I saw the orientation fields at a point, but they are not in here. Okay, so that's gone, I guess.
features, or to download Unity and try the prefab brush yourself, follow the links below. Thanks for watching.
Okay. Okay. And let me fix the microphone. It's a little bit annoying. Ah, that's much better. Just annoying if you have the microphone in your face all the time. Okay. Now I have it under my face, and I think it's better for the sound quality and usability. Only thing that is annoying is I couldn't fit the microphone arm under the monitor. That's the only thing that annoys me a little bit. Could give it another try, but I'm getting distracted by the microphone. So right now this is underneath my monitor, and then I could So I'm just trying out if I could put it somewhere. That doesn't work then. Okay. Yeah, so whatever I do with microphone, there's always some pros and cons. It's just because I have so many monitors and things around here that it gets like its own topic what I put where. So in the older version, you had this option in here that you could tell it to have XYZ in the axis. That's gone for the grid. Oh no, he does it on the grid. He does it on the grid. So it's not on the brush. So that doesn't matter. Okay, that doesn't matter. Yeah. So this is actually very great, because now we have both options. This example brush and this test tile brush. Now let's go to the test brush and delete the example brush and create a new one. And it's a little bit annoying that it's always picking the asset folder. Let's look at the create function. Path. Okay, let's look at the documentation. If it tells us for the path, if you can get the right-click path inside somehow. Okay. Doing click path. So now let's see if this gets the right click path. Oh, I think this is because yes, now we get the correct path here, which is a little bit nicer, but I think we have to handle what if we do this. Okay, it just gets this folder. It's okay, I think. Okay. It's still better than putting the asset folder in here every time, so that's nice. Now I want to have a field in here that tells me this example brush is coming from this location and this scriptable object. So that would mean it needs to be a field. It can't be edited. It's not hide in inspector. not sure what this is going to do. So we could plug it in here and then find it. But now we could put in every game object tile brush. That's not what we want. Let's try that again. So this is going to get a tooltip. Location of the source file. Source file. I think that is the correct name. And then we have to make it so that you can't edit this thing. How do we do that? Actually, there's an example here with the Z position. Ooh. So now really understand what this does is an in-GUI function. I just, when I programmed it, I was like, what the fuck is this? Just make it work somehow. Now I know what this does. And I think this is going to have to get some work. Nothing is going to be easy here. It seems. Actually, everything is quite easy if you think about it enough. Except for this, well, that's actually not the thing I wanted to point out. And sometimes they're never... Whatever. Okay, let's get going. Oh, I've even forgotten I wanted to check the Z position, how this is hidden. And I thought it should be inside of here. But I don't find it. Lock. Z. So this function here I think this is inherited. And I think because it's inherited from grid brush base, probably won't be able to find it. Yep. Because I think the methods inside of here I think they are internal, but I can't see that in the code. In the code it doesn't seem like that. So this is a virtual method. Okay. Because all of this is abstract. Interesting. So this is abstract. So everything we do here is really done here. There's nothing inherited. We're just keeping a pattern. Okay. That's interesting. I always thought that there are things going on outside of this class. Interesting. So we have this change mode. Oh no, this hidden draws empty cells after each draw. So paint on time equal. That should be the last boolean. And now we should find the anchor. The scene root grid. Don't see that. Now also don't see the log Z position. Root grid. Scene root grid. Scene root. Oh, there's something. So this is a fold out defined in the onPaint inspector GUI, EM GUI function. And with the log Z position, I'm log. Let's just see log. Oh, here's clock. Where is this defined? Is that every brush? Oh, every brush has this. It doesn't matter. I think if you are a brush, you have these options. These two. Ah, interesting. I have no idea why. No. So Unity show field without editing. Ah, read only. Read only. Yeah. So read only. That was what I was actually trying to do. Let's try to look that up. It doesn't seem like read-only. At least not the read-only that I have, because it's pretty much editable. So how do you use that? this is something about jobs, like for threading, if I have seen that correctly. Would be nice if there was. I don't want to make any custom doors because they because I won't want to use something that is developed by Unity. Problem is just I think there doesn't exist anything like that. I thought the Unity guys probably came up with something, but it seems like they haven't. Unity. So we could write it down in here. I think we're going to say function to create a new brush. Done. Improve brush inspector with grouping and tooltips. Yeah, that is our current task. So consistent use of Unity UI toolkit also is inside of here, so this means we have to work on this because this is not using the UI toolkit. Why is this important? So the inspector UI is the inspector UI, and this is basically done by the UI toolkit. Or the EM GUI. And the EMGUI is obsolete. Don't use it anymore. And we swapped over to UI Toolkit. And now you could say, hey, this works, don't touch it. And yeah, this is why I'm not always happy with the UI Toolkit. I'm actually very happy when I'm using it, but I'm not happy about having to do a lot of work and write everything that I have in EMGUI GUI to the Unity UI Toolkit functions. So it's kind of nitpicking, but yeah, it's just a lot of work. It's just a lot of time. So you could say, hey, just ignore that and have some things in EMGUI in your asset. I'm not sure that, but I that's wrong. It's not good to do that. It's definitely not good coding style. Let's see. How long is EMGUI supported Unity? So UI Toolkit will replace EMGUI. So EMGUI is going to be obsolete. I'm not sure about UGUI. What is that? Oh, that sucks. So they intend to have only the UI toolkit. They also want to replace UGUI. I don't think that's a good idea, because UGUI has its place in, and because it's game object based and it's pretty much irreplaceable. Yeah, and here's somebody here has the exact same case as we have. So as a publisher, and we are working on an asset, my asset uses custom inspector made with the EMGUI. Depreciation of EMGUI will require me to port all of my work to the UI toolkit, which will be time consuming. And I need to consider this change from business perspective. So he also says he doesn't like that the new UI toolkit resembles web development. Let's see what he says about that. Okay, thanks for feedback. We understand that. Having to convert existing tools is not a good return on investment for your business. Unity invested in UI Toolkit to allow tool developers internally and externally to build more complex workflows. You're right in saying it's very efficient to write small UI snippets with EMGUI, but it scales very poorly both in performance and maintainability. For deprecating EMGUI, we'll need to add a faster way to write UI Toolkit code for very small use cases. UI Toolkit is increasingly more capable as a framework, providing better styling and layout, more widgets and animation, and more will come as we continuously invest in it, with better support for accessibility, visual effects, and vector graphics. Note that this is November 2014, so that's pretty much now. Yeah, that's what they say right now. So they still say, okay, they still are not at the point where they want to be. They want it to be a little bit faster. Our great goal is to make sure the UI Toolkit provides enough value to developers so we can eventually focus on a single solution. Keeping three separate UI systems in a complex environment like Unity is expensive and can hurt user experience. Yeah, I'm going with EMGUI. The UI Toolkit should replace that. I think that's also better for the developers that are working on things right now. But with the UUI, what's the other UI called? The Canvas UI, I don't know what the name was. I don't see how that is going to work, because right now I don't know how it even works. I mean, then I need to have something with a right click and that creates something in Unity UI Toolkit, and right now that is not possible with a right click. So I think they still have a lot of work to do there, because this is not the Unity UI Toolkit that we see right now, and before they replace this system they need to give a good alternative inside of here, and I don't see that right now. So that's very interesting that he states that they want to remove all of this and put into the UI Toolkit at some point. Without seeing it in some kind of demonstration and proof that it works, I doubt that this is a good idea, at least at the current state. So let's first look up how this is working. We need to get this function to create inspector GUI. That's not easy. This is going to take. So we can't just go in and say, okay, now it is create. Yeah. First of all, it says there's no override. So oh. This should be. Okay, I think we can't use create. Yeah. So that is interesting. So I assume that they have swapped everything to use EMGUI. But Unity actually didn't. Okay, that's unexpected. So we need to use the old EMGUI system, which is going to be obsolete faster than the Canvas UI system, because the Unity guys haven't swapped over in their internal code to with the newer coding style. That's complicated. We tried. And we're not going to use two systems here. We're going to use one system, and that is EMGUI, because we override a method from Unity, which also means that at some point this method here is not going to be supported anymore. And we have to see how they do it in the new kind of code. I thought that they internally don't use on-paint inspector GUI anymore, but that doesn't seem to be the case here. Which makes the situation with the UI toolkit more annoying. Because that means, yeah, I'm saving work now, but I will have work later. And the problem is I probably won't even realize that this method is no longer supported at some point. Yeah, that's my main issue. That they're swapping over to their new system, and I, as a developer, just said don't use both simultaneously. And I look at Unity. That's kind of mean and a bad style, and Unity does that actually. Yeah. Yeah, this is the grid brush base editor, and we have to use that, I think. Yeah, we need to use that base class for grid brush editor. So we need it's necessary to use this. We must use this class. There's no way around it. So if this uses an old function, we are also going to use an old function. I double check now, there's no create. So and I estimate that it will take a year or two. I would see, but I would say this is going to change sooner, not later. Which also makes it more annoying, because if we want to improve the brush inspector with grouping and tooltips, we need to use OnPaint GUI, which is obsolete. Oh man. No, which one is this? OnPaint Inspector GUI. Yep.
This was a triumph. I'm making a note, huge success. It's hard to state my satisfaction. Aperture science. We do what we must because we can. For the good of all of us, except the ones who I did. But there's no just trying to
We're leaving this unchanged, I guess. Let's hurry up now. That sucks. So we can create a new object here, but this doesn't have a return value, so we can't just get that instance. We can still load it. Now we want to load this class. That we have just created. Scriptable object. So what we want to do is to get this game object tile brush that we just created. And they save up the source file in itself. Other way would be to have getter here. I think it's like this. Does this work? Okay, but now I think you can't access it. Let's see if we can see it in the inspector field. No, we can't see it in the inspector field. So I think it has to be public. But now we can create an inspector field. Right here. property field, I guess. So this is what we want to do, but we're still missing parameters. Let's look up an example. Pretty much now I have to copy in some code. Okay. So we have this reference field. Which points to the actual reference file. This needs to be false. Just following with the description. But we still see it in here. Okay. One thing, GUI. Yeah, this is not UI toolkit. Just wanted to make sure that this is EMGUI. And we're going to add some options. Okay. Seems like we need to find the documentation for this. Okay. There's what I actually want. we make this field non-editable? Not sure what this does. That looks really quirky. But now it's actually not possible to change this field, which is nice. I don't see the tooltip though, so I might want to also have description for the field. Would be nice. Hello? Okay. My PC is having a stroke. Okay, then I'm back again. I don't know why it does it. It just has a stroke sometimes. Okay, now it says source file and has tool type. Hello? Hello? Okay. Okay. Now the microphone is blinking in random colors. Yeah, don't worry, it's just having a stroke. That's completely normal. So this is actually the microphone itself that is having a problem here. If I go to the control, okay, it's not detecting anything. Yeah. Okay, so this is only going to fix itself with the restart. But yeah, I think the problem here is that the processor of mine just sometimes randomly crashes. It's super annoying and super dangerous to be working with it. I really need to get my ass up and report it to Intel and say, please give me a new processor and CPU unit, even though it means that I can't work for a few days. And it's just too much. Hopefully they won't null my warranty. But with this field, we have everything that we want. Let's delete this. And yeah, there's an error here. Don't know if this is every time we go and compile now, and why it is there. Yeah, it is now every time we compile. Okay, so let's close the project, don't save, and open the project again and see if the error is in there permanently, or if it's some old reference that can't be found. Okay, it's not in there now. So let's create a brush here. This is the example brush. And then go in here, and it will say this is the script, this is the source file, and with the test brush will actually not point to an asset. So I could be a bit more descriptive. Just if the source file is an executable asset, it will show the location of the corresponding asset. If the source file is blah, it will not. I don't know. If it's a class, it will not. Point anywhere. Let's just say it like this. Okay. So with this we can find the asset that we just created, in case we want to see, hey, where is this coming from? What is this? How do I delete this? Because if I go in here and delete this, I'm not getting an error right now. Interesting. Let's see if the UI fixes itself. So everything seems to be fine except that this drop down menu, which we don't control. Everything seems to be working. Sample brush. There we go again. Okay. So I can go and delete that. And go in here and say, I want to improve the brush inspector. Yeah, we were doing that. We're improving the brush inspector. Now we still need to, I still need to figure out how to improve the individual fields. I know that they are working, but probably want to improve upon that. I'm going to the toilet real quick. Be right back. Okay. Yeah. So forget that. As I say, things generally are a little bit crazy with the PC just having a stroke sometimes. It seems to be happening more when and want to do something important. So last 15 minutes. Let's maybe make some kind of graphic. What we want to improve upon here. So what you do here is just this cells field in the drag in object field. And the drag in object field is how you drag in these objects and then you get cells. And that's annoying, to say it least. Now if I restart the project, I think the drag in object field will be gone. Let's look up if we can get rid of one of the fields though. So in this state, it looks like this field is obsolete. You can edit the offset here, but you don't need that. You don't need that because you can already do that in the prefab, but you could assign a new offset to each element inside of here. I think we can still get rid of that. But if I drag in another object in here now, creates another element. So okay, they're pretty much the same. I think the cells field is obsolete. At least we don't need to show it. Yeah, don't need that to show the cells field. So let's not draw the cells field. I've never used the cells field. Never used it for anything. The offset option is there, but I don't see any use for that. So with this, the brush cells now the cells field should now be gone. Now we have just the object field, drag in object field. Okay. Now let's rename this to something that says, okay, this is the actual objects that you draw. So how you call this? Let's maybe look at how it is in Unity. They call it cells, okay. the objects. They call it cells. We call it objects. It's just prefabs. Just objects. Objects. Oh no, objects is reserved. Can't call that. Prefab objects then. Prefab objects. Now you can put in other things, but this is what you're supposed to do. Yeah, you're supposed to put in prefabs in here. Yeah. Of course you can put in your main cam or something and do something that you shouldn't do, but that is just a bad idea. Put in prefabs. Prefabs is the way you go. Okay. With objects. I want to see something. If I now make the cells field serialized again. Okay, that also did reset. Okay. So why is... Yeah, but this double structure is not good. So we're not showing that. Okay. And we have these two options that we can't even read. And if I hover with my mouse over them, I don't get the tooltip. That's bad. Constraint property proportions to X. Oh yeah, that just enables me to say, hey, I just want to edit the scale. Unfortunately, you don't have this constraint proportions. Or is that possible?
Best viewers on Stream.com remove the space 061 BWOS.
So I think constrain proportions to X. The inspiration comes clearly from this thing. I mean, the name is pretty much the same, so I guess this is supposed to be some handle, but just so that you can add the X. So this can be done with the custom editor. That if you toggle this on and off, that these two fields disappear. Okay, so I guess because I only have 5 minutes left until end of stream, I will leave this as a task for next time. Constrain proportions to X. Heights Y and Z. Custom inspector functions for the custom inspector already exists. Disable random is a little bit it's really nice to have, but I think disable random, disable preview. I think disable preview should be one further below, because pick element and disable random. If pick element should only be there if disable random is enabled. Random. We are going to call this pick random object instead. And default is 2, because this is actually an option that we want to have enabled by default. Then with the min and max orientation, I have no idea what they do. They don't have a tooltip. That's you can randomize the angle of the object that you draw. Like, let me just try that out. Have these two in here, and then you have, like, I don't know, pick an angle, and then in the preview you already see that it's going to have a random angle here. I don't know why it is drawn like this. This is a little bit weird. I'm not sure why it shows like this. Is this a weird mode? So if I drag them in, they're also shown like this. Think that this is some kind of... I think? Okay. But I digress. Damn. Stream's over. Yeah. I'm going to get something to eat right now. We're fast. Do some sports. So... have to go. Thank you for tuning in. We'll continue our work next time and see you back then. Bye.